Showtime! Here we are. And the timer weirds me out again by jumping straight to 20 seconds when it starts. Was I really live 20 seconds before I thought I was? I don't think so. Right. But hey, if you're watching this back later, it's just you and me hanging out. It's that normal lag between when I go live and people actually join the stream. So there's this little special time. It's a special time just at the start where people who watch it back later are the ones who get to see it. I was also fiddling on my phone, something I should have, I guess, done 5 or 10 minutes earlier, playing my Simpsons Tapped Out, just sending them on little tasks around my virtual Springfield. Lemonade and lime. It's really good. The volume's on very quiet, but you might hear weird random Simpsons quotes. Well, I just step away. I'm going to continue to do that. Rude though it is, because there's lots of things I've claimed to be, and there's lots of things I've claimed not to be, but I don't think I can convincingly claim to not be rude. Hi, Kirsten. How are you? Nice to see you. Just tapping away at my virtual Simpsons. And I'm just going to get this out of the way and set them on a task. And I should have done it before going live. A little bit obnoxious, really. Wait, did I do that? No, I'm just going to set them on, and then I'm going to put it. Oh, what did I do there? Nope. So these things, whether it's actual proper video games or tappy games on a phone, you really do that thing where just after you touch it, you go, that was the wrong thing to do. Can I have a time machine that gives me a 5-second jump back in time? That doesn't seem like a big ask to me. I can't disrupt the space-time continuum very much by just jumping back 5 seconds. It would help with video games, though. Kirsten having a slow grony, which I assume is a Negroni made with a slow gin. I always think it's funny how people think slow gin, SLOE, is actually referring to slow as in not fast. That's the type of berry, isn't it? It's slow berries. This is one of those things where I read something and I think that's what it was. I was like slow berry as opposed to juniper, which is the common gin base. Kirsten, being somewhat of an aficionado of gin, I'm sure can feel me. There you go. I got it right. Yes, my random internet readings this time appear to have been correct. Right. If in case you're wondering what this stupid thing I'm doing is, if you remember Farmville, remember the early days of Facebook? Fuck, I'm glad no one plays games on Facebook anymore, or hardly. When you went through that phase of, people trying to get you to be in their game, get them bonus, and you get such and such wants you for Mafia Wars, such and such wants you for Farmville, and it's like, fuck off. Glad that doesn't happen, or at least almost never happens now. So, because I am grumpy and antisocial, let's be honest. I've been really enjoying the, lockdown, isolation, social distancing, whatever you want to call it. Well, I don't really hate other people, but I've been more than a little... Okay, I'm staying home with my family, basically. I am somewhat looking forward to going back out to one or two of my favorite cocktail bars back when that becomes a thing in Melbourne, maybe June. Some of them with being allowed 20 people Some of them might reopen in June. I guess it's an equation they do. They go, okay, if we had 20 people average this much, we could turn over this much. So we could have this many staff, and that would make it worth opening. Yeah. There we go. There is still a juniper in slow gin that tend to macerate after the gin has been made and then add lots of sugar. Okay. I always associated macerating with chewing. I think that's one meaning of the word. And so when everyone talks about macerating the base component of a spirit, I just hilariously, to me, I'm very easily amused, imagine people working at the distillery chewing up the various grains and fruits and berries and spitting it into the still, which, you know, there's a 50-50 chance that doesn't happen. But I like to imagine silly things, and that's one of the silly things I like to imagine. Master distillers chewing things up and spitting them into a still. Why don't you have a job in a distiller? That's it, masticating. Thank you. I was thinking of masticating, not macerating. Very close. English is a very confusing language. It's like, Angry, why don't you work in a bar? Because I'd get fired for saying stupid things like that, quite honestly. I have no illusions. But still, I think it's kind of like when AZ tells his stories that I'm quite convinced a minimum of 50% of the time are complete bullshit. And, but he says them, I got an itch on my arm for some reason. He says them so convincingly. You go, oh, well, really? And I swear, more often than not, he's literally just making them up off the top of his head. Like he's not even putting a huge effort into the lie. He's just stream of consciousness, making shit up, but he says it in such a convincing way that people go, "Ooh, really? Is that a thing?" And it's not. It is often not a thing. Not wanting to criticize the boy too much, but he's prone to flights of fancy. I mean, but that makes life interesting and worthwhile. Honestly, his flights of fancy are usually not malicious, which is a big step above a lot of people who make shit up. A lot of people make shit up, do it in an incredibly I think something bit me. It's really itchy there. A lot of people who make shit up are incredibly malicious about it. AZ is rarely malicious with his flights of fancy, but they are. They are very much flights of fancy. It's like AZ and the world of magical thinking. Actually, in his case, quite literally, but that is another story. One that he may or may not tell himself at some point. Yes, but what's wrong with a bit of magical thinking in the world? Like I said, when you're not being malicious, if you're not being malicious about it, I have a lot of time for people prone to wild flights for and not conspiracies, and not particularly not ridiculous stuff like coronavirus is a hoax, Bill Gates is behind it, 5G causes coronavirus. And no, I actually really dislike that sort of conspiracy bullshit. I think it's quite dangerous, and it actually makes me quite angry. So that isn't the type of magical thinking I'm thinking of. I want it to be, you know, light. Frivolous is possibly the wrong word, possibly an appropriate word, but I want it to be light and fun, not malicious and destructive. If you're going to make up stories, make up fun and positive ones, not weird, destructive ones, particularly not ones that blame people or groups for particular issues that are much more complex than simple-minded thinking allows for. And that's a weird thing about conspiracy thinking, in my opinion. It's a really weird combination of getting overly complicated with your thinking, but also being unwilling to do the proper depth in your thinking. A lot of the conspiracy theories overcomplicate comparatively simple scenarios and come up with really elaborate backstories to justify it. But on the actual evidence, on the actual reality, the thinking is incredibly shallow and they won't look any deeper. It is a really weird juxtaposition of being too complicated and too shallow at the same time. Catherine, you love AZ. Everyone loves AZ's story. He is a fantastic storyteller. Oh, yes, a Flappy Dogs T-shirt would be a fine and fabulous thing. That is, and that's actually a true story that he did that. That's one of my favorites. But and Peter, that is a good point. It is weird how many of the conspiracy theories going around boil down to, if you follow them far enough, they boil down to an anti-Semitic, the Jews are behind it. But yeah, that sort of thinking is widespread, and it's weird. I'm just going to adjust the camera a tiny bit. I don't think that did anything. Whoop. Speaking of weird thinking, conspiracy, it's AZ. Okay, you've done something overly complicated. Can't hear you. Last night, and from what you texted me at 2 a.m, you don't remember it all. Unplug the headset because it worked fine last night with no headphones at all, and that makes you a bit more of a free spirit. No. Unplug from your laptop. Just go off the laptop speaker. This worked perfectly fine. Okay, I half heard you then. No, take. I don't know what you're doing now. Last night it worked perfectly fine with the headphones not being connected to. So you have to tell the laptop, don't put sound to the headset. Put it out of the laptop speakers. So I don't know what you've done to stop it from work. Oh, look. Okay, if you can get the headphones to work, use the headphones, whatever. But last night it worked perfectly fine without the headphones, so I don't know what you've done to stop it from working. Peter, H. Bomber Guy did a thing on flat earthers and uncovered the racist weirdos. It is, yeah, people usually don't limit themselves to one conspiracy, and it is remarkable how no matter what the conspiracy is, it usually winds its way down to some form of bigotry. And the AIDS man is still struggling, doing who knows what, but I certainly can't hear you. So I don't know if you can hear me, but we certainly can't hear you. Not at all. So I think, I don't know how we made it work last night, and I don't know what you changed to make it not work. But yeah, you need to be telling your system to ignore you. Unless you can get those headphones to work, you need to tell your system to ignore the headphones and use the built-in laptop speaker and microphone. So whatever you're doing now is giving us nothing. So you need to work on something. H Bomber Guy, if you don't know who he is a young English YouTuber, left-leaning politically, and I know he'll always be my hero for two things. Okay, I think ADS's gone away to try and fix his laptop. He has fucked around with something and it doesn't work anymore. Yeah, my two favorite things H Bomber Guy has ever done was a live stream to say fuck you to the British writer. What's his name? He actually is behind some good shows, and he's absolutely spoiled my enjoyment of them by being a horrible, bigoted, friggin' transphobe. Graham Lennon. Yeah. And he's just a piece of shit. He's woefully uninformed and seems aggressively proud, like all TERFs, aggressively proud of his ignorance. And he seems to completely lack the ability to just not be an asshole. You could sit off in your corner being ignorant and fucked and not be a colossal asshole about it, but not Graham Lennon. Apparently, he's compelled to be an asshole. But anyway, H Bomber Guy did a live stream to say fuck you to Graham Lennon, who'd pressured the government into doing an investigation on a youth charity that supported trans youth. Just because of his bigotry. And I think they did get their funding suspended at one point, but they got back. But when it was suspended, H Bomber Guy did a live stream to basically say fuck you, Graham Lennon, to try and raise some money for this group that Lennon was attacking. And it ended up being huge. A bunch of incredibly well-known people stepped into the live stream. I remember Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez dropped in to say hi, and it ended up raising hundreds of thousands of dollars and was a great big fuck you to Graham Lennon, which was fantastic. The other thing he did was when he was doing a takedown of Ben Shapiro, and he's just saying Ben Shapiro is just stupid as fuck. It's not even a thing of I dislike his politics. It's like he's actually really stupid. And he cited, hey, you can try talking again. I don't know. I don't see your lips moving, so it's like you're not trying to see if anything's working, which makes me think you can't hear me as well. No, I still can't hear you. Okay, cool. Yeah, so he did a video saying what a moron Ben Shapiro was, and he showed this bit of a speech where Ben Shapiro, who's a global warming denier, saying, but pretend it's real, the sea levels rise and houses on the coast are underwater. People will just sell their houses. To which after, in a very dramatic way, where actually H Bomber Guy cut his way through a wall with an axe to stick his head through the hole and say, sell their homes to who, Ben? Fucking Aquaman. Which is special. Oh, thanks, but yes, the charity was mermaids. Yes, and they were getting money from the National Lottery. Lennon, got a big shit stir in a fucking TERF website or Facebook group or whatever. and threatened the funding of the group. And H. Bummer Guy went and made them hundreds of thousands of dollars. Musical Avid, you've been getting troll weirdos in your streams. Oh, well, why do they put the effort in, buddy? Because they have no lives. They are bereft of lives. I mean, like, when I've had the people, and I've been mercifully free of trolls for a long time. So I guess I've gone out of fashion as a target for right-wing trolls. And so they just haven't been around for ages. But I have the ones who have or deliberately create multiple different accounts to be dickheads, and I just block them without engaging them. And it's just like, how much of their life are they wasting setting up these multiple accounts? And it's just like, you'd have to be so unhappy to on my more charitable days, I pity them a little, because it's simply, they must be so sad. Their life must be so unfulfilling. And they tend to construct their fantasy version of me because they can't be happy unless they imagine me not being happy. So they're really pathetic delusion. They go like, you're unemployed and live in your mum's basement. Nobody loves you. And it's like, well, I actually have a really well-paying job and a fantastic family, and I'm not lonely. I'm actually quite happy. Sorry to disappoint you guys. Catherine, who has a life these days? We do, Catherine. We do. It's just a very weird life. We don't know what it is. And the AIDSy man appears to be getting no goddamn where whatsoever. Don't know what you did, Sonny Jim, because it was working last night. You have shonjed something, and it has bollocksed. It has bollocksed everything, my man. Shit's fucked up, yo. So, yes, apologies for not being able to say anything sensible to you in terms of helping you out. Yeah, Peter, that's what I saw too. The AIDSy in fact, AIDSy, if you can hear me through your headphones, you are doing something wrong. You need for the laptop to be ignoring and not connecting to the headphones, or failing that, make the fucking headphones work, because they're just not working at the moment. It looks like you're thinking. That's dangerous. That is dangerous. Many a fine young man has come to a grisly end from thinking too much. So, you got to be careful. Yeah, show us your desk. Why not? Yes, we can see you. Yes, we just can't hear you. I'm thinking, look, I'm trying to be creative in my thinking. Control panel? Okay. So if we open yon control panel, hardware and sound, change system, manage audio devices, speak. That's what you should do, man. You should open control panel, go to hardware and sound, and manage sound devices. That is what you should be doing. Hey, Safa, how are you this fine evening? I hope the water's treating well. Catherine, can AIDSy type in the chat? He doesn't really like typing. And I think he can hear me is the big thing. Oh, now I think he's calling. Yeah, I think he's call. Look, I'm going to leave him. There you go. I know how to click buttons. I think he's calling his personal help desk. I'll actually leave him unmuted. Or AZ, you should also wave at me if for some reason you want to be on the screen. But I will hear you if your microphone starts working. Safi had chicken for dinner. Nice. I had homemade lasagna for the second night in a row. Young Ms. Angry has made it. She's gotten into, she makes a really quite elaborate bolognese that is, you mix all the stuff, uses white wine in it. And so when everything is put together, it's got a high liquid content. So it has to simmer down, like boil down for a couple of hours. And so it ends up with this incredibly rich flavor. And that's so good. And first she was making spaghetti bolognese. She did that a couple times. And then she decided she wanted to make lasagna. So she's been making lasagna lately. And she made this huge lasagna last night, and it was enough for 4 of us to have a piece last night and another piece today, which is very good. Very good. Safa, no, I didn't lose my roof. I did see pictures of someone who lost their roof. There was a fair bit of rain last night, and I think some people had high winds as well, but I didn't suffer any ill effects. All right, we're all swapping recipes now. Peter had veggie burgers, chickpea and turmeric. That sounds pretty good. Catherine, big batch of chicken and rice. Nice. Oh God, I'm in that boat with you. You make a big batch and go, that should last a couple of days. And it tastes really nice and you eat it all. Yep. That's me. That's the thing I do. That's the thing I do when I make a big thing. So that's usually somewhat of an effort of willpower. So, hey, did anyone know I named this this stream Saint Lucifer's Day because I found out that's a thing. I was looking in Wikipedia and saying, what is today the day of? And religious observances, feast day of Lucifer of Cagliari. It's a Saint Lucifer. I had no idea there was a Saint Lucifer. He lived in, he died in the year 370 or 371. It's from Sardinia, an Italian venerated personage known for his passionate opposition to Arianism. Arianism is a non-Trinitarian Christological doctrine which asserts the belief that Jesus Christ is the Son of God who was begotten by God the Father at a point in time, a creature distinct from the Father and therefore subordinate to him, but the Son is also God. Okay, so Catholic and dominant Christian theology is the Holy Trinity. God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit are actually the same entity in 3 representations. Whereas this one, Arianism, is saying, no, it's not a Holy Trinity. He's literally the Son of God, a different thing. And Lucifer disagreed with that. Apparently, he first appeared in history as an envoy from Pope Liberius to the Emperor Constantius. There you go. Oh, he's dinged me. What's he got to say? Yeah. Sorry. My text to AIDSy just auto-completed. I typed Okay. Okay. And you can rejoin. Okay. I meant to type can't hear you still, and it auto completed to I can't hear you stillborn, and I sent that. So there you go. Peter, Saint Lucifer is the name of his new black metal project. Good. And hi, Strictly Sega. So yes, Lucifer appeared. He was a disciple of Saint Eusebius of Rome, became a scholar in Greek and Hebrew, baptized by Pope Eusebius. He wrote a well-documented, appears like a biography of the Pope, The Life of Saint Eusebius of Vercelli. Okay, he got excommunicated for a while. Then he got back in favor. Man, the Catholic Church was fucking weird. Now, Lucifer's status as a saint is a matter of controversy. According to John Henry Blunt's 1874 Dictionary of Sects, Heresies, Ecclesiastical Parties, and Schools of Religious Thoughts, the Church of Cagliari celebrated the Feast of St. Lucifer on the 20th of May. Today, it's the Feast of St. Lucifer. Two archbishops of Sardinia wrote for and against the sanctity of Lucifer. The Congregation of the Inquisition imposed silence on both parties and decreed that the veneration of Lucifer should stand as it was. The Bollandists defended this decree of the Congregation, contending that Lucifer in question is not the author of the schism, but another Lucifer, who suffered martyrdom in the persecution of the Vandals. There you go, and there's a chapel in Cagliari's cathedral dedicated to Saint Lucifer. Opinions about Lucifer vary among Catholics who know of him. Some consider him to have been the champion of correct belief against Arianism and friend of Saint Athanasius. Athanasius, I actually knew a Catholic brother who took the name Athanasius, while others consider him to have been a religious fanatic who ferociously berated his opponents. Sounds like he was a testy individual, was Lucifer. Well, Catherine, you made chicken risotto with garlic, onion, carrot, and herbs. That does sound good. Sounds very good. My only other thing for the day, I see for the Bifford's cocktail of the day inspires me to do it. Oh, that's right. I looked. I thought that was so good. It's Levi Jeans's birthday. Levi Strauss and his business partner, Jacob Davis, received a patent from the USA Patent Office, giving them exclusive rights to strengthen working men's trousers with metal rivets. That patent was granted on this day in 1873. So there you go. So it's Levi's Day as well. I knew I looked and saw something. They're recommending to market to drink a cold whiskey punch. What's that? Scotch, lemon juice, and lemon. It's a fucking whiskey sour without the egg white and a bit of water in it. Whiskey, lemon juice, sugar syrup, and water. So it's a whiskey sour with a bit of water in it and no egg white. What else they recommend that is in the thing? A rusty nail. Don't really like rusty nails. Or a blue drink. A blue drink for blue jeans, because that was, of course, they used to just all be blue jeans. What's this one? The Gunmetal Blue cocktail has mezcal, blue curacao, lime juice, peach liqueur, sugar syrup. Yeah. But this other one, I reckon I might make this one. the Corpse Reviver Number Blue, which they say is your gin, Lily Blanc, which I don't have. I could swap in bloody Ochre Gold. It's a bit more bitter than Lily Blanc, but I'm game. And instead of blue Curacao, and it's a little bit of absinthe, I've got blue absinthe, so I can put a bit more absinthe and some Cointreau, which is fairly sweet, to balance the dry and bitter aspects. Wait, ADS's trying again. Yeah, but your microphone's not working. It's your microphone that's not working. You swapped headsets. Yeah, but I don't know what you've done. You've done something, and you've your laptop is using the wrong audio source or something. I don't know. Oh, Catherine, there's an episode about genes on the world according to Jeff Goldblum on Disney Plus. I still don't have Disney Plus. Tempted to get it just to be able to watch The Mandalorian, quite honestly. But I'm not watching very much TV at the moment because I'm still working. I'm one of those spoiled middle-class white people who has a job that I can do from home. And though it officially runs out at the end of June, and I don't know what's going to happen after that. If I end up in a period of not actually having a job, then I'll have whole days to fill in, and I probably will binge watch something. Well, that was weird. That was like a noise from your computer I heard, ADSy. Yeah, the bomb when you're connecting and disconnecting something. That is super weird because I'm hearing that, but I'm not hearing you talk. Did you? I'm wagering you didn't do the thing of open the control panel and look at what it's saying is the microphone and speaker. And yeah, you verbally answering me won't help. But if you go into control panel, it might tell you what it's trying to use as the source of the microphone. I mean, I still say it's just a pretty simple laptop. If you just unplug the headset and didn't use a headset, it should automatically revert to using the built-in microphone on the laptop. That worked last night, and I don't know why it isn't working now. So, but whatever's happening is not working. Yes, Catherine, I hear a little bit of feedback from me as well. So there is some strange fuckery going on with ADS's laptop. Don't know what he's done. But it's not good. So yeah, Kirsten, I think I'm going to make a Corpse Reviver Number Blue, my own variations on it. Instead of blue Curacao and a little bit of absinthe, I'm going to use Cointreau and more absinthe to get a blue color. And then I think I'll put Ochre Gold in instead of Lily Blanc. But I'm still drinking my lemonade and lime. But I definitely think I'm going to try that. They present it in a martini glass. I do it in a martini glass. Oh, they're saying this drink, on Difford's, they're saying this drink was created in 2007 by Jacob Bryers from Queenstown, New Zealand. Around the time a Facebook group started called Jihad on All Blue Drinks. And this was Jacob's reaction to it. He blued the most popular bartender's drink at the time, a Corpse Reviver Number 2. I am fond of the Corpse Reviver Number 2. They got another Corpse Reviver variant, the Blanc Corpse Reviver, Blanc Absinthe, Triple Sec, Lily Blanc, lemon juice, cane sugar. Okay, that's got a lot of absinthe in it. So I'm going to put a lot of my blue absinthe in this one. Just because that's the type of thing I can do. Peter, how you doing, buddy? Um, so yeah, AZ is just not on the happening thing. So, oh, it's like yeah, you're saying better. Saint Lucifer. He was actually a real Italian saint, defender of the Holy Trinity. He died before 400 AD. Glenda, this happened with your telehealth appointment the other day. And then it didn't work for one appointment, then worked for another one an hour later. Yep. So, okay. I am going to mute him because there's that weird noise going on. And I'll wait till he tries to talk again and then switch his microphone back on. But yes, sadly, he's off in his own little world, and I am of very limited help on the technical front. And also because the problem is I can't hear him. I don't know if he's really hearing or understanding me. And I don't know if he is doing anything along the lines of what I'm suggesting, namely go into control panel and check what the freaking source for microphone and speakers are. Because I think that would fix it. I also think he didn't try to do that, but I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm going to change the topic. Weird thing I got in the mailbox today. A rock. Now, the post didn't deliver it. Someone did. It's some sort of promotional thing that says, these rocks have been made with love for you to take on your new journey, to remember that there are people out there that care about you. That doesn't make any sense. The rock makes even less sense. When I take it out, you probably won't be able to see it because it's got written in black. So it's like, a light blue thing with a dark blue circle, and there's black writing, which appears to say commie. Look, I'll try and do this. You might be able to see it. Yeah. That's supposed to make me feel good, calling me a commie. Kind of does. Kind of does. But that whole thing is absolutely surreal. It's absolutely surreal that someone's putting this in the mail. Glenda, Lucifer's God's favorite angel who got too big for his boots. That's Lucifer Morningstar, yes. Now, I'm not sure when the legend of Lucifer Morningstar was created, because it isn't in the Bible. It absolutely is not in the Bible. It was invented by some church or other. I would actually love if there was a good book on the history of the devil and devils, because there are all these different names for the devil or a devil, and I don't know what the dominant mythos is and how many of them are the same, because you get some people say Lucifer and Satan and Beelzebub are all different, and some people say they're the same. But you get other, major demons or lords of hell like Baphomet or Asmodeus. And I would love if there was a good book that if there was a good book that actually traced, this is the history of the concept of the devil. This is when we think it was invented. These are when we think these names first come up. This is the hierarchy in hell. And I'd be very interested in such a book. Actually, I'd even be interested in a fictional book about it. What did you think? It's Strictly Sagi. You think it said Camille? What do you think Camille means? I swear it says commie. Like it's calling me a commie. No, Glee, I would be happy to be corrected by someone with a better understanding than me. But I am reasonably sure that whole thing of Lucifer, Satan, and whatever is not in the Old Testament. Like the story of the Garden of Eden doesn't say the devil, Lucifer, Satan, anything. It just says a serpent sort of told Eve she should eat from the tree of knowledge. You think it says Camille? Now, that's definitely an O. That is definitely an O, not an A. There's no attempt. It definitely says commie. It definitely says commie. It is really strange. Yeah, I don't think this was mailed per se, Catherine. I think someone physically put it in the letterbox. Someone walked around delivering them, but it's very weird. Glenda, you're going to ask John, he's studied in Theosophy. Yeah, if he recommends a book, if there is a good book, or for that matter, even a website that explores the history of the concept of the devil and the naming of the various devils and demons. Kirsten, you think it says, and Catherine, you think it says commit. That's a lowercase t, you think. Commit. Yeah, no, I can see that. It says commit. I actually agree with you. What the hell? I will say they have a website on here. I will quickly look it up. Not even going to give them publicity saying what it is. Okay. I am quickly going to look this up. .org. Okay, what do they say? Well, it's saying it's got a Facebook page, but not the actual website. That's real. What? It's a fucking scam after. Volunteers plant the seeds of love that help countless hearts to grow. Okay. They seem like weirdos. Aren't I mean? They're a volunteer group. Weirdos. Absolute weirdos. Or at least they've got a sense of humor. They've got to think, my COVID ISO resolution is to finish all my craft projects from 2018 after I started them in 2017, after buying the supplies for them in 2016, with tutorials I found in 2015. At least they have a bit of a sense of humor. But yeah. Okay. They're weirdos. Yeah, I think we've agreed it says commit, which is still a weird thing to write, quite honestly. Interesting, with a really bright light shining on it, it's easier to see on the monitor than it is in real life looking at it, because there's not a lot of contrast between the black writing and the blue paint. But the ring light that I have on there really highlights it. I think you're right. It says commit. Trying to convert me? Commit? It is strange. It is very strange. It's a very weird thing to find in the mailbox, quite honestly. There was that and a fridge magnet from an electrician, which I threw out. And I was going to throw this out, but I thought, as a conversation piece, I'm going to bring it into the live stream. I'm going to bring it into the live stream and have a conversation about it. Strictly said, you're having a Walking with your daughter, she spotted a painted rock, was blown away by it with lyrics, shine bright like a diamond. See, that's cute. I like that. Commit is weird. Safa, I don't have to check my PO box because I get a message when there's something in it. Like the last thing I got was that fridge magnet from the shovel that says 2020 is cancelled, which is actually pretty funny. I like it. That's why it's got pride of place on the fridge next to the Angry Aussie fridge magnets. It's a bonus thing they do with PO boxes at the GPO. They actually tell you when there's something in it, which is useful. So there's no need for me to, because I'm not in the city, because I'm not working in the city. It's easy to check the PO box when I'm working in the city, but now I have to make a special trip, and I have had to make a couple of special trips in the couple of months that I've been working from home. It's when I got my hair cut a week ago. Was it a week ago? It was only a week ago. It was last week I was in the city. Yeah. And I went to the Bitters Lab to get one specific thing, and I got distracted by it. And I found the thing. There's this stuff called Wonder Foam, and I found it. It's good for making foamy drinks that you don't have to use egg white. And I found it, and I'm like, yeah. I thought I'm going to get some other stuff while I'm here. And I went and look at other stuff, and I got distracted by other stuff like the Okar Gold, and I forgot the Wonder Foam. I got my Death Star ice molds, which I still haven't used. I've got to use them. A citrus squeezer, the one that all the cool guys want. What's he saying now? What's he saying? Can't invite you in again. Okay. Sure. I wonder if he thinks that text message made any sense. I think he does voice to text, and it garbles a lot, and he sends it anyway. So I'm not sure if that hand on your ear means you're listening to me, but that was a very mixed message that you sent me, but good and all. Yeah, so you don't seem to be getting anywhere on the technical front. So the full extent of the extra stuff I bought a spirit called Okar Gold, an Australian spirit, which I'm about to make a drink with. I bought some Velvet Falernum because I'm almost out of Falernum. And the bloody Bitters Lab is one of the best value places to get it. They're actually cheaper than Dan Murphy's. Kirsten, the squeeze is called the bartender's elbow. Nice. I hope I remember that. Bartender's elbow. All the cool cocktail channels on YouTube use them, and I felt left out, so I wanted one. So I've got one now, bright yellow. So the extra things I got that I didn't intend to get, Catherine, was the Okar Gold, the Falernum, the bartender's elbow, the Death Star ice mold. Oh, and I got given a little gift because I was buying a bunch of stuff. A little thing of bitters to try. I'm trying to remember her name who's in the store, and I'm really bad with names. I think her parents own it. She gave me a little sampler of Bitter Truth Creole bitters. She asked me, like, are you into bitters? Because I also had told the truth. It was Mrs. Angry's birthday. I was getting some treats for. And she's into bitters. Try this. And I haven't used this yet. It's very spicy and aromatic. Okay, Kirsten, you want to get one too? Yeah, I felt left out not having one. Oh, and this is not for individual resale, so this is from a sampler. This is 30, like most bitters, is fairly alcoholic. This is 39% alcohol. Maybe I'll put this in my Corpse Reviver number blue. I know it doesn't have bitters in it. Okay. And I've got this tangy taste on my tongue from just a drop of this. But I was quite annoyed with myself when I got home and realised I didn't get the Wonder Foam. That was silly. But, that's over Aids's side of town. It was an excuse to go see him, or seeing him was an excuse to go to the Bitters Lab, whichever way you want to look at it. So I did that. So is this a shaken? Yeah, it's lemon juice, so it's shaken. Your beloved husband got you the old type, and I've got a really good, squeezy one. It is actually very good, but I just wanted the elbow one. I found I left out. Everyone got them, so I think I've already used it in a video actually. I maybe haven't put that one up yet. That I might have used it. Might have used it in my. No, I didn't use it. I'm going to put a video up in the next couple of days. I have actually edited and rendered it, my version of a Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster, because next Monday is Towel Day, where we commemorate all things Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and I wanted to get the video up a couple of days before, so I'll probably put it up on Friday morning. Something for the weekend, a recipe of a Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster. For if anyone's feeling particularly adventurous. It's actually quite nice. In fact, Mrs. Angry ended up drinking it. And I milk clarified it as well. I'm kind of obsessed with that at the moment. And it appears to be something that people search for on YouTube. I've been getting far more views on videos about milk clarified cocktails. So I'll probably make one on Friday night, when I'm in a mood to sort of go to town because it's Friday night. I'm going to make 2 different milk punches or milk clarified cocktails, because I finally made one that turned out bad, like it tasted bad. And that was with coconut milk. And I don't know if it's the coconut milk that was at fault, or if I might have put too much lemon. It tasted weird, like it was too salty, but there was no salt in it, unless there was salt in the coconut milk, but that's just natural coconut milk. And after I tasted a few times, I thought maybe that's actually lemon that maybe I was a bit cavalier with the lemon. And that could be it. I might have been a bit too cavalier with the lemon, and there's too much lemon, so it wasn't really drinkable. So, but then normally with the milk punches, I just drink them as a cocktail, but this was too much. And then the cocktails that I made that neither myself nor Mrs. Angry wanted to drink, I put in a big glass and topped with lemonade, and that made it drinkable. Or although it still tasted like a sports drink, it still tasted like Gatorade or Staminade, like with the, electrolytes. It's what plants crave. So what I ended up doing was clarifying the drink again with cow's milk. And I added a sweetener. I added a sugar syrup, because there's no sweetener. So I added sugar syrup, then milk clarified it again, this time with cow's milk. And the first one, it was very orange, and clarifying it again, it lightened and more yellow and tasted way better. Oh yeah, Kirsten, that's the next thing I got to do. Got to fat wash. Whiskey seems particularly suited to fat washing. That's the next little project. I want to try some fat washing experiments. You can, use whatever fats or oils. Bacon fat, particularly with whiskey, bacon fat seems very popular. I have to get a really flavoursome, smoky bacon and extract its precious juices and mix them with a whiskey and then get bacon flavored whiskey. But you can do it with all the things like, avocado oil. I've got some coconut oil there, and I was thinking rum, probably I've got Bacardi. Turn Bacardi into coconut Bacardi. That would probably be good. Coconut Bacardi would probably be good. But yeah, while I'm still madly experimenting with milk clarifying, the next experiment is definitely fat washing. I've got to try that. See if you can imbue the flavor into the drink. It does. You're right, Safa. Fat washing sounds a bit dirty. But on Friday, what I've already decided I'm going to do on Friday, I'm going to do a double experiment because I did this one milk punch that was fucked, and I don't know what it was. I don't know if I just don't like what this particular coconut milk did to it. But I'm going to do a double experiment. The one I made that tasted gross was called Paloma milk punch, as Bacardi. So not Bacardi, it was tequila based. And I might have messed up the measurements, so I'll take a bit more care. But I'm going to do that again, but clarify it with dairy milk. And then the double experiment, I'm going to get the one that I've made a couple times that's just fucking great. It was called Mimi's Milk Punch. It was like a cognac-based one. And I'm going to make that with coconut milk. So then I'll have this double experiment of the one that didn't work with coconut milk done with dairy milk and see if it tastes better. Like I said, I might have just screwed up the measurements when I made it. But I'm going to do that, see if it tastes better. And then get the one that I know tastes really good and make it with coconut milk and see what difference that makes taste. Because I'm all about the science. I'm about the science. So do that and see what happens. Because you saw coconut oil and Bacardi on TikTok. I'm sure that Mrs. Angry was making something with coconut oil the other day, and I'm sure she only used half the jar. So it's just begging to be used for it. For those who are wondering what you do, you warm up the oil or the fat so it's very liquid, and then you mix it in to the beverage, mixy, and then you let it stand and it separates, and then you freeze it, and the oil or the fat on the top goes really solid, and you can just take it out, and that makes it much easier to filter out residue. Yes, Safa, coconut oil has many applications. True. Stella, good evening to you. Or you just missed my talk. Remember we were talking last week. You asked if you can use coconut milk to do the milk clarification stuff that I was doing. I actually made that recipe that I found that sounded good, the Paloma milk punch, and it was fucking terrible. It was like really bad. I saved it. I with a bunch of manipulation, I saved it, but I did that, an approximation of that recipe with coconut milk, and the process worked. The process worked, and what is happening in AIDSy world, I wonder? Who can tell? He's not even there. He's fallen asleep. Okay. He should go to bed if he's going to do that. But anyway, so yeah, I made it, that tequila-based one that sounded great with coconut milk, and it was it was not drinkable. It was awful. And I found a way to rescue it. But I don't know if I just got the measurements wrong or I don't like what coconut milk does. But this Friday night, I'll be, having a bit of an old time. And I'll be dressed up for Formal Friday, so it'll work for a video. I'm gonna do the experiment and see if I can find out what I did wrong. Is it just that I don't like what coconut milk does in the clarification process? Who knows? Who knows? It's a mystery. But Friday night will be investigation night. And we shall see what happens. Um, can see movement in AZ land. You should, if you can hear me, Adrian, you should be going to bed rather than falling asleep in a chair. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. And yeah, no, look at him waving his hands, rubbing his eyes. Still don't have a working microphone though, buddy. You know, wave good night to the people. Yeah. All right. We hope we work out whatever the technical problem is sometime in the future. I could just leave you. You could just be like the Queen the whole time. You could stay there the whole time and wave. You're gonna do it. You what you? No. You. Oh, wowzers. Okay. Go to bed, good sir, and we'll hope to make it work another time. Celia, you're going to make a concoction with rum and banana. Oh, I have made milk clarified rum drinks, and they were fucking great. Like the classic tiki cocktail, the zombie, like 4 sorts of rum. Oh my God, it was the milk. But that was with dairy milk, not coconut milk. But yes, tropical drinks, rum drinks, really lend themselves to milk clarification. Basically, I think the original things people would have made milk punch with were brandy or cognac and rum. That's because it's like from the 1600s, 1700s. Those were the most common spirits people had, brandy and rum. Yeah. So yes, measurements were there, but it was for making a big one. So it was talking about cups. And so I approximated that with mils. And I might have lost concentration. I might have because I put lemon and lime juice in, and I might have put too much in. I'll make it again and pay, because that was, after a bit of consideration, that was the taste that was too much. Oh, Stella, you're having rum with that pineapple coconut. I love that drink. That's like not even fruit juice. It's like half sugar. But it's in the supermarket, this pineapple coconut drink. And it's great. I love it as a mixer. I used that when I made a milk punch with rum. When I made the zombie, there's like 4 sorts of rum and a lot of that. There was a lot of that in it. And it tasted very good. Hey, speaking of, I'm gonna make a cocktail. A Corpse Reviver Number Blue, a blue drink. It should come out blue. It should come out blue. A blue drink to celebrate the patenting of Levi Strauss blue jeans rivets. So what do I have to get? I have to get a gin. I'm just going to use standard gin, Ocar Gold, Cointreau, and absinthe and lemon juice. Okay, I could clarify that because it's got the lemon juice in it. Fuck, that would actually probably be really good. That would probably be really good. Ooh. God, I'm obsessed with this milk clarification, honestly. Okay, so Ocar Gold, blue absinthe, Ocar Gold and blue absinthe. Rock, go over here. I'm just going to use my Tanqueray. And where's my Cointreau? There. Cointreau. Ooh, Cointreau's running a bit low. I might, in my aims to get more Australian drinks, when I use up the Cointreau, I might get, there's an Australian, Marionette making orange curacao, which I think is a bit drier than Cointreau, not as sweet. Lemon juice. Again, I'll be a barbarian and use my bottled lemon juice. I am going to have to make a comparison video one day of making the same cocktail with bottled lemon juice and fresh lemon juice. I think fresh juice does taste better. Let's see if we do. Oh, Safa, blackcurrant cider. Nice. Nicely. Okay. Need my shaker too. I even have a drink, a glass chilling. So, all right. All the small things. Where's my Jigu. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do 3/4 of an ounce of each thing. It's just going to do equal measures. Actually, what am I doing there? Don't want that to happen. Don't do that. Oh, what am I doing? I'm still confused. Okay. 1 shot of fresh. Yeah, I'm going to do 3/4 shot of everything. Okay. Kirsten, you're a fan of the Marionette. I got the blackberry liqueur from Marionette, which is good. So I think in my quest to be more and more Australian, when this Cointreau runs out, you can't really see, there's not that much left in it. I think I'll get the Marionette. Yes, that's what I got the Mur by Marionette for brambles. That is specifically what I got it for. Mrs. Angry likes a bramble. So I'm going to be barbaric. I'm going to just use my ice from this drink because there's a couple of big blocks of ice there. Why waste them? I'll use them for the shaker. Okay, 3/4 of an ounce of everything. Cointreau. 3/4 of an ounce. My little medicine shot glass. 3/4 of an ounce of Outback liqueur. Uka Gold. Alrighty. This is going to be a good drink. 3/4 of an ounce of absinthe. If I like this drink, and I think I will. So here's the thing. I think I'll do a milk clarified version of this too. 3/4 of an ounce of gin. It's filling up. Oh, it's very blue. It's very blue. It's a fabulously blue color, as is only right when we are celebrating blue jeans. Oh, here's another tip from Kirsten. Knock Lofty from Tasmania does an orange liqueur, which is apparently pretty good. Well, I know I can get the Marionette from the Bitters Lab. So that make my life a bit easier just knowing I can get it. All right. Now we're going to shake it like a Polaroid picture. All right. Ooh, it's a very nice blue-green now. Got a bit foamy. Where's my chilled glass? Use this one. All right. Very chilled glass. That's what we like. Just keep the ice out of my glass. Ooh, this is a great color. It's a fantastic color. Ooh. Look at that. Check that little beauty out. What a color to celebrate blue jeans. Oh, that is nicely balanced because there are some strong flavors in there. The Oka Gold on its own, it's got some quite spicy notes in there. The absinthe, which is probably the dominant flavor still, but the absinthe on its own is really strong. Oh, they're just balancing so well. Whoa. Yeah, temptation is going to get the better of me. I reckon I probably am going to do a milk clarified version of that. So, Kirsten, Nick Czar is the guy behind Marionette, one of the country's top bartenders. Made and bottled. Oh, is that who makes it? Yeah, I saw there was that gin distillery across the road. I didn't realize it came from just across the road. Ah, learn something every day. Yeah, it is. It's a very nice looking drink, isn't it, Stella? Like if I was being fancier, I'd garnish it with something, probably with a blue gummy worm, because I'm sophisticated. Oh yeah, they just garnish it with a lemon peel on the Difford site. Actually, a lemon zest and squeezing over the top would actually probably be a really nice touch. I can just very rarely be bothered to garnish my dronks at home. One exception I make is if I've got an orange around, if I make an old-fashioned, some orange zest on an old-fashioned is, it's required. But yeah. Oh, yeah, Kirsten, I did see that Craft & Co. made beer. I did not realize they were making the Marionette liqueurs. Yeah, and I think I saw a thing saying that they were doing gin and they were doing beer. I didn't realize they were doing the Marionette. Nice. Hey, Lisa, how are you this fine evening? What are we, Wednesday evening? Got our way through hump day, without murdering anyone. You ever one of those things at work and you should a little soundboard that had a button that you could just push when particular people got a bit pushy and the voice just said, "You're not the goddamn boss." Oh, Kirsten, the color will definitely leach out in milk clarification. That would be the one downside, would lose the color. But I'm just really intrigued as to what it would do with the flavors. Like, it's really nice now from my experience, because this has still got an edge from the absinthe. And I think milk clarification would smooth that out. I would expect, and I've been wrong twice now about what I thought milk clarification would do color-wise. If I was to guess, I think this would come out a very pale yellow or possibly a bit green. But my guess would be milk clarifying that would turn it a quite pale yellow. Oh, hell. Because Craft & Co. do gin markets. Let you try product from 15 different gin distilleries for $15. I hope that's like really small samples. It just sounds like you get really drunk. I remember it was a few years ago now, like at least 5 or 6 years ago. Mrs. Angry and I stumbled across a cider festival. It was on St Kilda Road, and thought, well, let's check that out. And how it worked, like you paid however much to get in, I forget, and they gave you tickets, and it was something like a dozen tickets, or I don't know. It seemed like not enough. It seemed like not enough of these tickets that you go around, and there were all these Australian cider brewers with their product, and you give them, you gave up a ticket to get a drink, and we started off thinking, this is not very much. This is not very much. We didn't use all the tickets. Didn't get legless drunk, but it was really drunk. Yeah, so it was on St Kilda Road, which is technically not St Kilda. In fact, it's a ways away from St Kilda. Lisa, I don't think they've done the cider festival for a couple of years. Peter, what did you miss, my friend? Check. I'm really happy with this. Like, it looks really good. Like, I think I'll make this for my YouTube channel. because it's such a good color. And it's a nice drink. But yeah, I mean, Lisa, Lisa, are you saying we should go to the gin thing or the cider festival? Kirsten's saying how drunk you get depends on the guy who's pouring the samples. That would be true. That would be very true. This cider festival was where I found my two favorite ciders. One is called Flying Brick. I actually have some of their draft down there just for if I'm ever in a cider mood. It's been sitting there for a while because not everyone sells it, and I like to have some on hand for when I'm in the mood. Oh yeah, come in for chats, Lise. And in fact, look, open season for anyone who wants to join. I'll put the link in. Anyone who's got a webcam who wants to join the chat, that is it's not posting to Facebook. Okay, let me just post it manually to Facebook. This will just take a second. I just have to open Facebook. For some reason, Facebook and StreamYard have a bit of a rocky relationship. But there on Facebook, that's the link. It's Wednesday night chats. Anyone who wants to come on, if you've got a webcam, just clicky on the linky. You don't have to have any software or anything on your computer. It's just a web link. So it's pretty straightforward if you want to join in. Particularly in poor Aidsy had too many technical problems. Well, he had one technical problem. One's too many. One is too many. When you need stuff to work, one technical problem is one too many. Hopefully back tomorrow. I don't know what went wrong because last night it was working fine. Not that he remembers, apparently. Don't know if I mentioned that he texted me at 2 a.m. going, oh, my God, I missed the live stream. And I went, oh, A, fuck off and don't text me at 2 a.m. B, you didn't miss the live stream. You were there. So you may have been sleepwalking. Catherine, hello.
Hello. Wait, you stopped.
You froze there for a second, but now you're with us.
Yep, lovely.
Cool. How are you doing? I think there's a little bit of lag between us, but
yeah, I noticed that.
not a lot.
No, I'm actually doing pretty good compared to how I was the other week. So
yeah,
I'm back into a groove. So that's very good.
Excellent. How's your day been?
Good. Not much, but
yeah.
good.
we never have much to report these days, do we?
Yeah. No, I've got physio tomorrow, so that's somewhat interesting.
Sorry, what do you have tomorrow?
Physio.
Oh, physio. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, Lisa's going to join us. Hey,
hello.
Oh, there you go. Look there. Look, now we're all the same size. That's pretty groovy.
I know. How are we?
Good. Have you been colouring your hair, or is it just the lights around you?
Yeah, I just got it done pink like last week.
Ooh,
so
nice.
I've never done it, and I thought, fuck it. I'm in the middle of a pandemic. It's the best time to go pink. Yeah. And I went to work thinking my manager would hate it, and they're like, "We love it."
Yeah.
They're like,
Abigail.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
We're going full Brady Bunch now. I like this.
I love it. Love it. Oh my God. It's iconic. The whole thing's iconic.
It is.
So,
I'm a thorn between roses.
How are we all?
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
I just finished my D&D game, which was also online. So
cool.
So here I am. Yep. So on every
you the DM?
Wednesday. No, I'm not the DM? I'm not the DM this time, which is a good change of pace because I usually am.
Oh, cool. Cool.
Yeah.
My boyfriend wants to get into D&D.
I tried once. It just seemed too hard.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, especially if you're a high-level wizard like I am.
Yeah.
Lots of shenanigans. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I'll have to get some people one day. I've still got the box somewhere that I think I bought back in the 80s or early 90s for a sci-fi role-playing game called Paranoia.
Paranoia is so much fun.
It's
Never
hilarious. It's so funny.
Glory, hail computer.
It's basically you're a bunch of people who live in an underground bunker in the post-apocalypse, and your life's controlled by the computer.
The computer, yeah.
And the computer's absolutely insane and paranoid.
Yeah.
And you actually have clones, which you need because you get killed all the time.
By your own party. By all the people you're playing with. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the paranoia.
You instill paranoia in people. I'd like DMing that one. I was just doing shit like they were under threat from something, and they got a blast and somebody said, "Oh, I shoot them," and they rolled to hit, and they did a critical fail, like they rolled the lowest score they could. So I decided not only did they miss who they were shooting at, but they shot a computer terminal, which was like the physical representation of the computer. And I said, "Oh, so person X over there, they just screamed and shot the computer." And you're almost sure you heard them scream death to the computer when they did it. And so it's forcing the party to turn on each other. And Peter's joining in.
Definitely a nerd game.
On stream. I needed to balance it out.
Yeah, we need another beardy in it, mate. That's what we...
Yeah, I did running away to make sure my computer didn't die.
Oh, that's all good. Oh, you had to plug in,
I make sure I shave every day, so...
that's handy. Yeah.
I don't understand that pain, thank God.
Yeah.
But I imagine it would be... I imagine you get creative after a while.
My big thing
this is actually quite groomed for me. This is like I actually did trim this not too long ago.
Yeah.
I have very little patience. Otherwise,
I'm just eating peanut butter with celery.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
No, this is what's nice. Look at this, Andrew.
Ooh, a punch.
Mango gose.
Oh, mango rosé. Oh.
Gose. When we film that video that we keep talking about, I'll bring you over a 4-pack. This shit will change your life.
When we're not socially isolated, yes.
Yes.
Well, one of the things I want to do after the lockdown ends is start another D&D game. So, and it's always hard finding people who are available. It's like really difficult.
My boyfriend wants to learn.
I know that pain quite well.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, my boyfriend wants to learn how to play D&D, so like he probably will be definitely down.
Okay.
I on the other hand will come along. I don't know if I'll like it, but if I'll give it a go, and if I like it, I'll keep coming. I'm being honest. Like, I've never played it before.
Absolutely.
I borrowed the books from the library once, and I'm just like, and they're like 2 big fat ones, and I'm like, nah.
I've been running D&D games since first edition, so shows how old I am, if anything else.
Well,
my first game was 3.5 at the end of high school, I think it was, and
3.5 was good, and then Pathfinder after it was even better, and now I'm in love with Pathfinder 2nd edition. It's just a really good iteration of D&D.
Okay.
I'm trying to convince some friends of mine to play the Expanse RPG that I've found.
Yeah.
The politics in the Expanse.
I am already a Martian in that game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even have the rules yet. I'm a Martian.
Try and do a Belter accent.
Oh, I couldn't.
That was one of the 1,000 things I really liked about the TV show. They're going like, the Belters had been completely isolated for generations.
Yeah.
And they're all speaking English, but they would have developed their and they I think they did some academic research on if you've got generations of English speakers who are completely isolated, how might their accent mutate?
Yeah.
And so you've got that Belter accent, and I just loved it.
It's called Belter Creole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read I was watching an interview with the guy who they consulted to create the sound of Creole, the Belter Creole, and a lot of it is just like bits of Arabic, bits of Haitian Creole, bits of everything, and usually pretty vulgar.
Yes. Well, they were miners. They're going to be pretty vulgar.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you were mining a space rock for water, why wouldn't you want to be as expressive as possible?
Exactly.
Every time because I play Elite Dangerous, which is a space game, and anytime I'm out mining, I automatically think of The Expanse, and I should be speaking Belter Creole right now. And because it's eerie.
Stella wants to be a Belter as well, so you can be a Martian, Abigail. Me and Stella are Belters.
Okay. I'm 100% Martian.
Hey, well, I'm excited. Well, I'm excited about.
What are you excited about, Lisa?
I'm excited about the fact that I actually finally got a Super Nintendo Mini.
Oh, hey! Yeah.
With the box, and I played Star Fox 2. I played Star Fox 2 last night. Holy fuck, that's hard! I was like, whoa. Have you ever played it? It's nothing like the original. Like, nothing like the original at all. And it's like, you got to stop Cornelia from, like, getting destroyed. Like, they do it by percentage. And you've got to fly to different parts of the universe and then, like, kill enemies. And it's like, it's not like the original where it was, like, just like an obstacle course. This is, like, you know, in the cockpit and you got to, like, shoot things and you have a wingman and everything else.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, why wasn't this game ever released to the public? I know why, because it's fucking hard. That's why. It's fucking hard. And like on eBay, games are fucking going for like so good money. I just sold my PS3 with I think I had 5 games. I sold it for like $160 plus postage. I sold my Wii with 12 games and accessories for like $212. And I sold my other Wii.
Nice.
Yeah, I sold my other Wii with like 4 good games, like, you know, Smash Brothers, Zelda, fucking Super Mario, and Donkey Kong. I got 100. I got up for 160, and I should have taken it, but it went for 147. I made like over $500 last week out of my game.
I can't believe the Wii is still going for that much.
The Wii's are going. Well, 5 years ago, no one wanted them, and I went and brought all the accessories.
Yeah,
they were really cheap. Like even like I had like Wii Resort with a box. I had like the, you know, like the tennis racket, the cricket bat, and the golf thing. And I bought that with the case for like $15. No one fucking wanted it.
Yeah.
And I put it all together in a pack. I even had a Wii in a box, and people just fucking cunts went nuts and just bidded for it left, right, and center.
Yeah, well, it's because of the whole lockdown. It's the
and I had a balance board. I had a balance board with it, and the balance board was like $15.
Yeah,
I think Switches was sold out here for weeks.
They still are.
Everyone was
they still are.
But with the classic NES, I've actually been watching the Classic World Tetris games that they've been playing, and that's amazing. Just the level of skill, because like it's old school Soviet programming Tetris, which means it's truly randomly generated.
Yes.
So
well, that's the thing. I've got a Nintendo Mini.
In Soviet Russia, random generates you.
But see, because I like retro games. So like I got the Nintendo Mini when it came out. Like I managed to get that at like, but I got it when it was like, I actually got it when it was sold out. But the guy just sold it to me at the price he brought it for.
Does it?
Okay.
And is it an actual Nintendo though, or is it just an emulator? Because a lot of the micro consoles are just an emulator.
I got the proper one, the proper Nintendo one.
Okay.
So it is mini, like it's mini with the loaded games, but it's not like one of those ones that have been like hijacked or anything.
Yeah. Okay, because I know that there's an official Commodore 64 Mini, but it's just an Arduino running an emulator. and it actually runs slower than the original Commodore 64.
Well, this is my
if that's possible.
That's my actual Super Nintendo Mini, which is just tiny as fuck, and like the button doesn't work, but the reset and that does. Like nothing goes in there, but like it's got the 30 games on it, and I've got the box. I got the box with it, of course. But like the actual controllers are like the original size, the original ones, because I got an original Super Nintendo here, which I've kept, and I've got Yoshi's, but I've got this Yoshi's Island box and manual and everything, so that's all like in good condition. But like my actual this is the Nintendo Mini, which is what it came in the box and everything. So like the actual size of it is fucking tiny, but they don't come with a power supply. They come with a cord, but no actual like plug.
Okay.
Which is stupid. Yeah, they don't come with a plug. Yeah, both of them.
That is really weird.
Yeah, that's a thing with them. Like they don't come. They come with like the cord to plug in because it's just a USB cord. That's all it is. But that's the size of it. Like it's fucking tiny. You know, and you got to supply your own HDMI cable.
Okay.
And
really? Jesus.
Yeah. Well, no, my Super Nintendo Mini came with its own HDMI cable, and then I found my other Nintendo one as well that obviously came with this one because I've only moved. Yeah. But yeah, you have to supply your own power supply with them.
Yeah. I guess they're assuming everyone has them lying about because we buy so many electronics.
Yeah, but they're all different.
There is
different amperage, different voltage. It's just ridiculous.
It just works off the mobile one. That's all it does. Like it just works off the one for your mobile. So like, I mean, it's not like it draws much power, but yeah, like considering so like at least for the Super Nintendo they gave you 2 controllers. With the Nintendo Mini, you had to buy an extra one.
Ah,
of course.
See, I have an actual Super Nintendo.
Capitalism.
But I had the really old. The only AV connector I had was a really old aerial type that doesn't work on anything nowadays.
Oh no, that sucks.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you might have to track down an old CRTV or something like that to get it to work.
I know, it just sucks. I just can't be bothered. And it sucks because it had a really good auto-firing controller. So you just flick a switch and it will just constantly press A or B or whatever.
Yeah.
I had one of those for my PlayStation 1, I think it was, and it was the only way I managed to get through a particularly hard section in Metal Gear Solid where you're being tortured and you have to tap very rapidly not to die. So.
I have a button on the side of my mouse that's an auto clicker.
Oh, yeah, I've got one on my gaming now.
I can just hammer cookie clicker all day, just and not hurt my thumb or my finger or
But what pisses me off about the Super Nintendo Mini, because I love playing Donkey Kong Country, is that I want to swap Diddy and Donkey, and for some weird reason you can't.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, you know that you can't swap them. You can't get Diddy to get on top of Donkey or Donkey to get on top of Diddy and throw them. And I'm like, where the fuck is this option gone? Like, this is what you're supposed to do in the original so you can get certain things.
Yeah.
So either you got to play through it and unlock it, or I don't know, like something went wrong in the programming. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. My oldest one, I've still got my actual original Nintendo 64 that I bought when it was a new thing. Still works. Even my offspring, who were babies when it came out, will still play it occasionally. They'll plug in the Nintendo 64 and got a couple of good games for it. Never had, like everyone always says GoldenEye. Never had GoldenEye.
So much fun.
That was good.
Perfect GoldenEye was the greatest
Dark's
game.
The same. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect Dark is the same gameplay but a different storyline.
It's the same game engine.
Perfect Dark.
I
really quite enjoyed Perfect Dark. And yeah, my lad did a party a year or so ago with his mates from school. Because we got 4 controllers, and they just whacked Perfect Dark on, and were playing multiplayer shoot 'em ups on Perfect Dark, and they were having the time of their lives with a game that was made before they were born.
I think
what really worked for GoldenEye was that you could just plug it in and it would work. And tons of games offer the same experience now, but it's like multiplayer. It's not as simple as it was back then. You just turn it on and start playing.
Yeah.
Well, I think because the thing with Rareware, because Rareware were like the studio in the 90s, and because they did Donkey Kong, and then they did Banjo-Kazooie, and they did Conker's Bad Fur Day, and they also did Jet Force Gemini. And when Perfect Dark came out, because it was such a big deal, because everyone knew it was exactly the same game engine as GoldenEye, but with a female lead. And we had Perfect Dark, and it was fucking great fun to play, but it had better guns. But I think the reason why people like GoldenEye so much was because it was great gameplay, but also it was just the graphics weren't the best, so it was kind of made it that much more fun. You know what I mean? It was that bit blocky kind of thing, and people just didn't care because it was I can go around and slap the shit out of someone and kill them. You know, I mean, you can do paintball, and it was because it was just the first kind of game of its kind when it came out. I used to hate playing it with my brother because he used to always fucking kill me, the little prick.
Yeah.
So I just gave up in the end.
Yeah, kind of like Doom in that way.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm thinking about, where you should go through the room just shooting all the monsters?
Yeah.
In the 90s? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think because Ocarina of Time was such a big deal too, and I've noticed with the Nintendo Mini and the Super Nintendo, they've always made sure that they put Zelda on there. So when the 64 Mini comes out, I know they'll put Ocarina of Time on there, which is my favorite game ever.
Yeah. The two we played the most.
I've never played it.
Oh,
it's
Ocarina of Time.
It's iconic. It's iconic. Oh, it's iconic.
Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask on the Nintendo 64. Two just absolutely legendary Zelda games. They're very good.
Okay.
I've
always been a PC gamer, so never got into Nintendo games.
Oh no, because the thing with the Legend with Ocarina of Time, because it's an RPG, but the thing about it is that what you do as a child then affects what happens in the future. So then you go back to the future, and you can go back to the past as well. So it's kind of this whole thing of back and forth, and it's just the fact you can go fishing, the fact you can ride horses, you can do archery, you can do, you can kill bosses. There's magic. It's just the worlds in it are amazing. I've got it on my computer as an emulator, and it's just, I can't explain why it's good, and because the fact that all the music's amazing, it's just because you had a rumble pack. You know what I'm talking about, Andrew?
Oh yeah, the rumble.
You know what I mean? Yeah, the rumble pack, and you could actually as you're fishing, you can feel it rumbling and pulling, and I don't know how many. I don't know how many people fuck controllers with the joysticks going fishing.
The bit I always remember from Ocarina of Time, and spoiler alert for a 30-year-old game, but right at the end, because standard Zelda stuff, people, you meet someone in each of the temples, and they end up becoming sort of elevated to a higher being, not quite a god, but they're like a spirit of something. So they're not their former selves, and they're instrumental in you beating the final boss. And there's this bit at the end that always got me. Is really poignant. There's a huge celebration because you've beaten Ganondorf, all these good, and then it just cuts to there's the father of the princess from the water temple, because she's gone. She's been elevated to thing, and another one of the little bloody pixie people, whatever they're called. The first person who becomes one of the higher beings is from Link's village, and
Sarah's song.
So
Sarah.
everyone's celebrating, and then there's just this cutaway to the father of Princess Ruto, who's from the Water Temple, who's gone.
Yep.
He doesn't have a daughter anymore. She's this higher being is just gone. And this little guy who was always annoying from Link's village, but the girl from that village who's gone was his best friend. And everyone else is celebrating. And this dad and this guy who've both lost the person most important to them are just like sitting there together being really depressed. And that fucking caught me by surprise. You know,
it's Japan.
Everyone else is celebrating because we beat Ganondorf. And then these two, you actually realize these two have lost the most important person in the world to them. To them is just gone. And they're really fucking depressed. And you're in the bed, I won. And then these two super depressed people are sitting there and you're going, ugh.
It suddenly goes really Dark Souls at the end there.
Yeah, just for a second. It was just like...
That's just like Draco Malfoy and his mum sitting there after the Battle of Hogwarts. Just like,
that's what I'm thinking of. It's like, are we meant to be here? Like,
yeah. I was celebrating
I managed to find my oldest piece of gaming technology, which is a Game
Boy Mini.
Yes, No, I got that from my parents. I had it in my old bedroom at their place, and I was like, "Yep, no, I'm taking that back with me."
Yeah.
But I thoroughly recommend to look up on YouTube as well. There's a guy in the UK called Look Mum No Computer, and he's very big on sort of analog synthesizers and things like that. And he's built a Game Boy machine, which is essentially like a synthesizer made of Game Boys, and it's this big wall.
Oh, wow.
He's also done a Sega Mega Drive mod as well to make music with and things like that. But
what a legend.
Computer, thoroughly recommend him.
Oh, that sounds great.
Nice.
That sounds nice.
I like some 8-bit music.
Well, what's that you've got, Lisa?
I have a DS Lite for sale that I'm trying to get rid of. This is the only one I couldn't get rid of. It has 4 games. So I have Star Wars 3. I have Zelda Spirit Tracks. Good game. I also have Professor Layton and the Lost Future. These are like fucking gold. And I also have Tetris DS. So if anybody wants to buy this thing off me, let me know.
Hit Lisa up for a DS. There you go.
I'm just getting rid of it. I just don't use it. That's the thing.
I think my kids have still got a DS. Yeah.
Well, I've still got a DSi somewhere.
Well, I put it on eBay and no one wanted to fucking buy it. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, it's a Doctor Who case, for fuck's sakes. Like, hello?
Just buy it for that.
Like, hello?
It goes through phases. Like, I remember a very long time ago, all the secondhand stores, the hock shops where junkies sell the stuff they stole, they had Nintendo 64s and no one wanted them. And then at a certain point, it became a real retro thing. Everyone wanted a Nintendo 64, and they were impossible to get and cost a fortune.
And the Super Nintendos went the market peak for them about 5 years ago.
Yeah,
and that's the thing.
Waves.
And yet, Wii's no cunt wanted a fucking Wii, so I brought everything super cheap, and now I've cashed in thanks to the cunt virus. Oh, now thanks to cunt vid-19, I'm making a mint. That's what I call it, cunt vid-19, because that's what it is. It's a cunt.
Yeah. It's not good. Yeah. But I have a flashback when you held up that Star Wars game. Who remembers it was originally a PC game, X-Wing versus TIE Fighter?
I've still got.
Well, there was an X-Wing game and a TIE Fighter game. Then there was X-Wing
versus TIE Fighter. Yep.
I had a friend. Play that. I loved that. That was I loved that in the 90s, playing X-Wing or TIE Fighter. Ooh, Star Wars is so cool. A friend of mine who's super fucking aspy. Like, when I played, he'd get on my Nintendo 64 and I had a fighting game. I forget what it was. It was Tekken or something. And he didn't even look at instructions. He just started working out what key buttons were. And then he would instantly memorize keypad patterns. And within 2 hours of first going the game, he was getting a flawless victory against the final boss because he would just memorize things. And the thing he did that blew me away on the X-Wing game, like, so I'm flying around an X-Wing and it's so much fun, and then you go like, a TIE fighter's launched a missile at you, and you go, fuck, deploy flares, and you're trying to outrun a missile and deploy chaff or deploy flares to deflect the missile. When he's playing and he gets a little thing going, missile, he flip around and actually goes straight at the missile and shoot it down. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? You run away from missiles. You don't go straight towards them. And he was just like, no, it's there. It's just, I was, whoa.
Did you have a joystick for it? Because
it was a joystick. Yeah.
Because when I was playing X-Wing and TIE Fighter, I only had a mouse, and it sucked.
That was
to fly up or down. It's like bank left.
Yeah, you needed a joystick for X-Wing. Yeah, absolutely. But I noticed Stella in the chat was saying GoldenEye was the first game that gave her motion sickness. I do occasionally get motion sickness with first-person shooters. Not all the time, but sometimes I'll go, oh wait, I feel a bit queasy. Oh, Jesus,
so I get killer motion sickness in buses and transport, but I've never had motion sickness in a computer game until I played Elite Dangerous in VR.
Oh, VR,
in VR, and so in the game you can land on a planet and then deploy a little buggy and drive around in the buggy. And I swear it took 1 minute to get motion sick, 2 minutes, and I was throwing up. It was just
Kirsten,
that bad.
Lisa disappeared and Kirsten joined us. Yay!
So
hi, how are you?
3 minutes of this, I got back to the ship so that I could get out of the game.
Yeah,
and I had motion sickness for 24 hours after that. I couldn't even scroll Facebook. It was that bad. There's something about VR that makes motion sickness 20 times worse.
That makes
awful.
Sense to me.
Well, there's a screen like right there in front of you, and it's like pulsing light directly into your brain. And
so you're getting all these visual movement stimuli, and you're not actually moving.
Well, yeah.
That's overloading your brain.
But I've never had motion sickness from just a monitor, like first-person shooters or otherwise. So
but that's because you have
all the other information,
environment around the monitor. When it's right up in your face, you're only getting that visual input of everything's moving and your body isn't, and your brain goes, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, there are settings in the game that let you limit the amount of motion sickness you can get, which I've turned all of them on, and it's playable. Yeah, it's playable with them on. So
I noticed
Stella saying
she seems super susceptible to motion sickness. She won't do VR. Even the Blair Witch Project gave her motion sickness. Who remembers Cloverfield? The movie.
I had to walk out of Cloverfield because I was
It's a handheld camera thing.
I was fine for that.
Found footage.
Yeah, it's a found footage one. A lot of cinemas had a sign warning if you got motion sickness, this might trigger you. And seriously, when I went in to see it, they were putting sawdust on some vomit. Like someone had run out of the cinema to try and make it to the toilet, and they just made it to the cinema and vomited.
No.
I went with Mrs. Angry, and she gets bad motion sickness on buses and stuff. She was fine. I started to
same with me.
I started to get queasy. I didn't get really sick, but I started to go, oh, well, I can feel it.
There must be different types of motion sickness then.
There are. There's actually feeling motion but not seeing it, and then there's seeing motion but not feeling it.
Feeling it. Okay.
Trigger different things.
I have a thing where, whenever I'm on
Me?
Sorry, because you just didn't even say what you've been up to.
Well, I've had work, and we actually had a VR walkthrough of the distillery probably 6 weeks ago, and I got terrible motion sickness from that. And it's just a walkthrough.
There's something there's a joke in there somewhere about getting motion sickness from a walkthrough in a distillery.
I feel really sorry for the guys who have to spend like 8 hours a day, like doing all the like new job instructions and all that.
But do they do tours or something?
We won't do VR tours. You'll be able to do a physical one, but we're like completely redoing the distillery. What was there is not there anymore.
Okay.
And they're mapping all the processes to make the whiskey, so that's pretty cool.
Oh wow! Oh, sorry, Lisa's trying to get back in. Yeah, she's waving. Oh no, she's just doing her fingers. Were you waving at me? Or doing your
I don't know what the fuck happened there. Prick of a thing. It just decided to fucking kick me out.
And I wasn't even running, and suddenly I was on camera.
I was excited. I was like, yes. And now my dog's deciding to run around and pour everything because, rain. So there's that. Hi,
Well, what's that you've got? The gin tradition.
Ooh, I love gin. I love it.
You got to be friends with Kirsten if you like gin. Follow Kirsten's Instagram.
Gin. Yeah?
Yeah, follow me on Instagram if you...
Yeah? Are you a gin nut? Cool. Yum.
What's this?
I went to Adelaide, and fucking Adelaide has some fucking beautiful gin. There is a Prohibition bar. Oh, they had gin with Australian green ant in it. Fucking... Though I will say that Kangaroo Island gin is shit, in my opinion. But I love gin.
These are my two favorites.
Yeah, what breed are they?
And this one's also really, really good.
Which one's that?
What is? Ooh.
This is from South Australia. The ounce from Imperial Measures Distillery, and have these gorgeous bottles that are totally.
That is a nice bottle.
They're going to become whiskey decanters when they're finished.
Gin in South Australia is so cheap. Oh my god, it is so good. Yeah, you get like a tasting paddle for like $20. And me and this guy who met on a tour, it cost me like $70 just to get off my rocker, and it was great. Like I went to this pub in the CBD in Adelaide. No shit, they did. The McDonald's, like the McDonald's special sauce, right, for the burgers.
Yeah.
They did mac and cheese spring rolls. With the burger sauce, and I had gin dressed with dried pineapple and fucking
Ooh, that sounds good.
There's some really amazing.
Adelaide is the best. It's a shame I couldn't go back because I'd be off my head.
What state are you in, Lisa?
I'm in Victoria. I live in Melbourne.
There's a ton of gin bars in Melbourne, so I'm also in Melbourne.
I know. There's also
so many gin bars.
Did you hear about the gin distillery? I think it's down in Mornington, and they actually will send you tastings in the mail now.
Yep, pretty much every gin distillery will send you tastings in the mail.
They've gotten very entrepreneurial with the
they've had to. It's pretty rough. Lots of the smaller distilleries entirely rely on their tourism and like people visiting their like cellar doors. And with social distancing, it's been really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was working in the city before I started working from home. Just downstairs, there's the Little Lon Distillery, as in one of the original. There are a couple of sort of heritage buildings still in some.
I'm looking for my bottle of Little Lon Distillery.
Yeah, but the actual distillery was just downstairs from where I worked. It was in one of these.
I need to be friends
one of
with
the original buildings in Melbourne, and they were just gearing up. Like they had a development application in, and they were going to like open a bar. And I'm sure that's all fucking gone south since.
I grew up in Brandenburg. I grew up in Bundaberg, which is famous for Bundaberg rum.
Yum.
Everyone would. I'd have people who would visit and go, "Oh, let's go visit the distillery," and I'm like, "Okay, but I'm not going." Bundaberg rum is fucking atrocious.
I'm good. Yep.
Good. Ooh, while we're talking about sauces, Rottweiler dude's saying, try and find spicy Sanchez Melbourne hot sauce. Ooh.
that hot sauce was used in the web series Hot Ones. That used that. With the celebrities.
Yeah.
It's famous
I think
now.
they did it with I think they did it with Gordon Ramsay, didn't they?
Oh, I saw that one with Gordon Ramsay, and he's got to be a super taster. He because he's like he relies on his sense of taste so much as a chef, like that he was swearing more than usual by the end of that show because he's a super taster, and it was just really affecting him a lot. And I
remember that, like he said, the wings were shit. That's what he said. He said, "Can you make some decent fucking wings?" I don't blame him. He's like,
cold. By the time they come out to you, they're cold, so that you're just eating hot sauce on a cold piece of meat.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be pissed. I'd be like,
Idris Elba was threatening to fight the creator of the show by about and he comes from a Trinidadian background, so he's no stranger to spice.
Okay. I find pepper too spicy, so I wouldn't survive.
I am like the whitest white person.
When
it comes to
same.
Just ordering Indian food when I like the flavors, and they say, "How do you want that?" And I say, "Mild," and they go, "Okay," and I go, "I mean white person mild."
Australian mild, please.
Yeah.
Like when I was an Uber driver,
mashed potato, please, but it's a bit spicy. That mashed potato.
But like when I was an Uber driver. Oh, when I was an Uber driver, right, because I used to get a lot of Southeast Asian customers, and I'd ask them about like proper Indian, and I said, "Yeah, Australians just basically Indian here is like fucking Indian for white people," and they just fucking lose their shit for about 5 minutes. They're like, "Yeah, you're right." I'm like, we wouldn't even know what heat was. They're like, "No, you don't know what heat is. You don't know what taste is." And I'm like, "Can you tell me where all the brown people go so I can actually eat proper Indian?" And they're like, "They give me a list of restaurants." And I'm like, "Yes."
My neighborhood, Lisa, if when we get to the stage of you coming, because we've been talking for 6 months about you coming around.
Oh, more than that.
I know, right? But I've actually got the channel up and running now. But my neighborhood has an Indian community, and some of the Indian restaurants just down the road from me, they're serious as hell.
Good, because I like proper Indian.
They're serious as hell.
Because my boyfriend lives in Camberwell, right? And there's this Indian restaurant there. It's fucking mind blowing. I went there on the weekend, and they do actual proper black dal. Proper black dal.
I love dal.
Oh, and it was like proper naans, like actual proper naans, and they actually did like what did we get? We got the pork vindaloo, which didn't have enough meat in it. But they had this one that was this beef casamella. I don't know what the hell it was called, but oh my god, Father! And like we like spice, right? We do. And I'm like, this is fucking like iconic. Like, and they did this pumpkin one, and it was pumpkin and chickpea curry, and it was actually like a big piece of pumpkin, just covered in like this glorious curry fucking goo, and I'm just losing my shit with a naan just like all over my face like this, you know? And my boyfriend's like, "Is it good?" I'm like, does it look like it's good? Of course it's good. And yet we've got tandoori flames like within half a K of my house. You can walk there, right? It's like a couple of 100 meters down the road. And we got the sag paneer, like when I first moved here, because we like sag paneer.
Oh, yeah, I love that spinach.
Yeah, it's just cheese and spinach, right? And we got medium. But the thing was, I don't know what they did because they fucked it because it didn't have any flavor. It was just pure heat and weirdness. So we've never gone back.
I remember working with this woman. She was Malaysian, speaking about people who like hot spices, and because there's a big Indian population in Malaysia as well. And we're at this place, just like a food court Indian place, but it was very good. And they had a couple of dishes with the warning sign on it, like, this is the one we're not mucking around. This is the hot one. And she ordered this vindaloo, which was their warning one. And they said, and I used to go there all the time. I would get butter chicken, right? Typical white person. And my friend, she gets
the sweetest thing you could eat.
Yeah, she gets this vindaloo, and they say, "Oh, the warning," and the guys knew me, and I went, "Don't worry, she's fine, honestly." And she orders this vindaloo, and she tastes it, and they had a little thing of chili paste that you could have it, and she's just got a spoon, and she's just spooning it off, and then about the fourth spoon, the Indian guys are looking at her, going, "The fuck are you doing?" And I went, "Don't get on her wrong side, guys. She looks really sweet, but she knows what she's doing, and don't fucking challenge her. You don't want to be on her wrong side, because she's going to eat that and think, oh, that's okay." And the Indian guys were actually going, "Oh my God, what are you doing?"
I remember Adam Pacitti, who now does Cultaholic Wrestling on YouTube, but used to be part of What Culture Wrestling. They have predictions contests, and whoever loses has to do a punishment. And one of the punishments was they went to a curry place in Newcastle that boasted the spiciest curry in the whole of the UK. And he had to go to hospital after that because of an ulcer. He said it was by far the worst punishment experience he's ever had, and he's like skydived with a fear of heights.
Oh God!
Hey, but it was like, I've been told the Philippines does really good curry. By the way, apparently their curry.
Some people in the Philippines really like curries. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We went to Sri Lanka for our honeymoon, and that was really hard because we don't eat spicy food.
Yeah. No, that's going to be it.
So we had to do a lot of white person spicy.
Yeah. We're white people. Please calm it down. Yeah.
Our driver got really good at being like, "This is a white person cafe," and we're like,
Yeah. Okay. All good.
Yeah.
I'd be like, just take me to where the brown people go. I'll eat whatever the brown people eat. I love spice.
Don't worry, Andrew. You'll get it out eventually.
Oh, well, no, I was going to say, who remembers the YouTube channel from the early days called Epic Meal Time, where they'd make those? You were talking about the cold chicken wings. I knew some of the guys who were regulars on it, and they were just saying it was gross because it was all visual. Like, the stuff was cold by the time we got it.
Horrible,
and so all their reactions to the food was always fake, like, because it was always horrible, because it was always cold and congealed, and because it took ages to prepare it and set up the cameras, and so every time you see someone eating it, whatever they're saying, unless they're saying they hate it, they're lying. It was always terrible. It was always cold and congealed.
One of my friends worked on MasterChef and said the same thing.
Yeah.
The judge, 100%.
The judge is definitely eating cold food.
Yeah.
That's
unless
horrible.
it's meant to be cold.
Why would it take so long to set up a shot, and they had to wait to serve and all that?
Yeah.
Of course it's going to be cold and crap.
Yeah. MasterChef is all bullshit.
I picked up one of the judges.
Figure out a way to do it when it's warm.
Even when they put them in warming drawers and that sort of stuff, it doesn't really the second shot when they're coming around to judge things. Yeah, the benches are all clean.
Yes.
So you know.
You know what bugs me? The cutaways where the person's acting as if they don't know what's going to happen, and that the cutaway is clearly shot the day after the thing, and they're going, when the judge came up, he's coming up and I'm so nervous, and you go, oh, fuck off. We know this is recorded later, okay? So that bugs me.
Apparently one of the worst reality shows one of the worst reality shows for distorting that is Ink Masters, which is a tattooing competition.
Yeah.
All of the judges walking through and talking to people and asking them how they're going and forming opinion. That's all shot after the fact, and it's totally different to what their initial impressions are. And it's reality TV is such a giant pile of bullshit in terms of like the actual reality of the event.
But it's so cheap to make. That's why
That's
they do
it.
it.
It's really cheap.
It's really cheap, and it gets high viewings. Like I work with like the silent majority, and like the few intelligent people that I work with. Well, don't get me wrong, there's intelligent people. But I was having a conversation with a friend at work, and like he said, you've got to remember that the majority of people actually do think The Bachelorette and Married at First Sight is actually real. And I'm like, you've got to be joking. And it's like, no, because they actually carry on like that in real fucking life. And it's like, you've got to be kidding. And they see themselves. I've got a couple of friends who are obsessed with like Real Housewives of Melbourne, like all those Real Housewives shows. And like, they're as gay as the day is long, and that's great. But like the whole thing is, it's like they will sit there and rewatch episodes and rewatch scenes. Like, and I'm like, this is scripted. They're like, no, it's not. I'm like, it has to be.
The big bugaboo I have is particularly with like shows like The Voice and such and such Scott's Talent, because
so you think you can have a sub story?
Yeah,
always gonna have a story.
They're currently doing Big Brother, and they actually had to tell them everything was in lockdown.
Oh, German Big Brother, yes. They didn't know about the coronavirus outbreak, and they'd been inside for a couple of weeks. And they eventually told them, oh, by the way, this insane shit is happening in the outside.
But
that's probably when I didn't want to know.
Like that, basically, anytime you see a performer who you think, how could this performer possibly think that they're any good? Like, has no one told them that they're not decent or things like that? When you realize that the producers are actually saying to them, you're amazing. What we need you to do is next time when you're in front of a camera is to like really ramp it up and make it big and things like that.
They do.
And then they record the meltdown afterwards because they've been told that they're wonderful and that they'll definitely get through. It's so exploitative and so
Well, I go on the Monsters Who Murdered live stream, and Rob McKnight, like he actually does that with Amanda Howard, and he's an television producer. Like he used to work on Studio 10 and stuff, and he got sacked. And I said to him, like, with Big Brother, because the Australian Big Brother is being pre-recorded this year. So they recorded it in Victoria, but it was like back in January. Like when it goes on, like it's already been done.
Yeah.
And
is Big Brother still a thing?
Yeah. So I asked him.
They're
revamping it. So anyway, and I said to him, what are they looking for when they do Big Brother? And he said they're looking for a character. He said they're actually looking for someone that sticks out. And like because not many old people go on there. That's why if you're an older person, you have more of a chance. Yeah. And like, I was like, okay, so anybody who has like any weird characteristics, he's like, yeah. And like, that's why they pick all these young blonde bimbos, is because the majority of the people that audition for it are people that are like, want to be Instagram models.
And
that's
they're looking for a character. That's what he said. They're casting for a television show.
Yeah.
So it is a proper casting. That's what he told me.
I remember Doug Benson went on Last Comic Standing and he basically said that he got cut early because he refused to start shit with the other cast members, even though he was explicitly encouraged to. So he didn't make it very far because they couldn't get any drama out of him, even though he's a very good comic.
But the thing is though, like my friend in the US, he went on Beverly Hills Porn. And like, and he went on that, right? And I said to him, the whole thing's scripted. He goes, look, because he sold like a set of like, was it Star Trek blueprints? And I was like, yeah, they were his, right? He didn't actually sell them, but that was the thing, right? And like, he uses that as a credit on his like actual show reel. And I'm like, you're in a Star Wars jacket, like the Luke Skywalker jacket. I was like, why didn't you wear like your Voyager outfit? He goes, well, the producer told me that'd be a bit too much. And like, yeah. And I was like, okay, Houston. And like, he's been on like the one where they transport the stuff across the country. And like he said to me, it's all scripted. Like all of it's scripted. Yeah. Like they want drama. Like that's the thing. Married at First Sight, they revealed it was all fucking B-grade actors.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like in hardcore porn, the show on like 7 Mate or something.
Yeah.
They would actually have people show up to the store just to look around, and then the owners would give them stuff to sell back to them on camera.
Yeah. And that stupid joke they have with those porn shows of doing a pornography pun, hardcore porn, and I'm just saying, just go the whole way. Have a new series called Japanese Tentacle Porn, or this one's called Anal Gaping Porn. What the fuck? Just own it. Just go there. Just go the whole way.
Yeah, well,
I really enjoyed the television series Unreal because it's a fake bachelorette. And it's how the producers like manipulate you and like how that wears on them, and it was great. Like
well, I'm having a really fun time
TV that I'm going to watch.
But it's bedtime. I've got to get up for work tomorrow. I don't know about anyone else.
I was enjoying it.
I don't.
10:15. I normally finish at 10.
Kristen, I'm going to check out your Instagram, Kristen.
So what was your Instagram? The gin one, Kirsten?
The gin cart, AU.
Yeah.
Because there's an inactive Instagram called the gin cart from the UK. They haven't posted 2017. I was pretty mad.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Well, look, I'll go and check out your gin, and I believe once all of this is over, we'll all meet up and get incredibly drunk. Because I need to get incredibly drunk because now that I look like an anime character according to my boyfriend, he was offering me tentacles and I told him to fuck off. And like he said to me, Lisa, we need to go and make some nerd friends. I said, baby, we'll go make nerd friends. I know nerds. Like we need nerd friends.
There's a couple nerds.
I am the biggest nerd I know, hands down.
I'm
not very nerdy. I just like gin.
Yeah.
I like gin too. So you and I can talk about gin.
And I have always had pink hair, so.
Oh, well, this is a new addition for me. So, I mean,
this is really washed out because I haven't seen anyone.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. I'm going to get purple next time.
It's not showing up in this light.
My purple has just completely gone.
I'm afraid I'll just burn my scalp if I try and bleach this because I know how bad I am.
That's why my pink only starts here.
Yeah. Abigail, in Melbourne, my local hairdresser will fix your purple quite easily because they're open 3 days a week. So, it's in South Kingsville. Just look up South Kingsville hairdresser. There's 2.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in Fitzroy, so I don't know how far away that is.
Yeah.
It's not that far.
You've just got to bleach your ponytail, mate. Not the whole lot, because that'll burn your scalp. You've got to just bleach your ponytail. You can do that.
That's why my boyfriend broke up with me, because someone did something to my hair at a hairdresser's, and my scalp burned for 3 months, and I wanted to tear my hair out.
Oh, no.
Sue them? Oh,
right. And burning, but... I mean, they gave me $3,000, so it was a movie shoot.
Oh, okay. So you got to pay up there.
Yeah, but it was just messed my hair. So no ties, nothing except shampoo touches this.
That's fair. All right,
fair enough.
And on that note,
I would definitely stay here all night with all of you.
Good night.
If I didn't have to go to work.
Nice
Maybe
to meet
Friday
you.
night. We'll do a Brady bunch on Friday.
Yes.
Yeah, that'll be
Everyone.
lovely hanging out.
All right.
Bye.
Bye everyone.
Good night.